4 weeks, 71 passionate encounters, and the terrifying realization that happily ever after is just the edge of reason. Man, what a quote, right? It's just this stark, almost brutal realization of how fragile love can actually be. Welcome to today's Explainer, everyone. We're looking way past the surface level laughs of a 2000s icon to explore a really brilliant psychological descent. So welcome to our Tween Hunting Guamanang. We're going to unpack exactly how fast the illusion of a perfect ending can unravel the second it crashes into our own deepest insecurities. Today, we're diving into Bridget Jones' The Edge of Reason, The Descent and Resurrection. Now, you probably remember this 2004 sequel for its laugh-out-loud slapstick moments, but honestly, beneath the surface, there is this profound, almost graphic novel-style exploration of insecurity, betrayal, and self-worth. It asks a deeply human question: what actually happens after you ride off into the sunset with the person of your dreams? Well, for Bridget, that warm, fuzzy sunset quickly gives way to a very dark, incredibly revealing night. Okay, let's dive into this. Giấc mơ tình yêu vỡ vụn, or Shattered Love Dreams. Exactly 4 weeks after the fairy tale ending of the first story, the entire foundation of Bridget's newfound happiness is immediately put to the test by the shifting sands of her own self-doubt. You see, there's this massive psychological tug-of-war tearing at Bridget's psyche. On one side, you've got Mark Darcy. He represents absolute safety, sure, but he's also tethered to this rigid, conservative party-supporting world that makes Bridget feel, well, profoundly out of place. And on the other side, the undeniable, chaotic pull of temptation, Daniel Cleaver, over at Sit Up Written. Even though she knows perfectly well how deceitful he is, the chaotic allure of her past really begins to tug at the restrictive, suffocating edges of her present. Which brings us to the next phase, bóng đen của sự hoàn hảo, the shadow of perfection. And enter Rebecca Gillies. Look, it's one thing to feel insecure. It's a whole other thing to have it physically materialize right in front of you. Rebecca Gillies isn't just a colleague. She operates as a literal psychological shadow, projecting every single thing Bridget fears she is not. Flawless, long-legged, entirely put together. At the law council dinner, Bridget is suffocating, both physically and emotionally. She's restricted by those awful shaping pants. She's humiliated by the monkey butt taxi makeup disaster, relegated to the loser table, and then publicly bested in a Madonna trivia quiz by Rebecca. It's devastating. This wasn't just cheap comedy. It's the tragic manifestation of her failing attempt to mold herself to an impossible shape just to survive in Mark's rigid, high society environment. And this brilliantly illustrates the terrifying speed at which a fragile foundation collapses. Look at this timeline. 1 day, a dinner disaster. 1 week, a catastrophic ski trip in Austria, and a really bitter argument over a pregnancy scare and hypothetical children. 2 weeks, the whole thing implodes completely. Overhearing a voicemail from Rebecca, the fragile foundation finally shatters. Mark coldly refuses to answer her questions, and Bridget just walks away. So we arrive at our third act, Khu Ngạn Nơi Xứ Người, the fall in a foreign land. Geographically, she's in absolute paradise, filming the Smooth Guide in Thailand, but emotionally, Bridget is about to hit rock bottom. Stripped of all the illusions of London, Bridget is raw, vulnerable, and dangerously susceptible to Daniel's practiced charm. Riding the intoxicating high of magic mushrooms and just desperate for some kind of comfort, she finally lets her guard down and seeks solace in Daniel. But the awakening is brutal. She finds a Thai prostitute right there in Daniel's room. And the crushing realization here isn't just that he cheated, it's that Daniel's true, unchanged nature was always there, and she let her desperation completely blind her to it. She is now utterly alone. In the darkest cells of Bangkok, surrounded by strangers, I found more warmth sharing a pink bra than I ever did in a London ballroom. That isolation becomes incredibly literal when a snake fast loaded with cocaine, planted by the sketchy Jed, lands her straight in a Bangkok prison. But in this gritty, terrifying darkness, a really profound shift occurs. Bridget stops trying to be perfect. Trading cigarettes, sharing a pink bra, she bonds with dozens of inmates over a shared rendition of Madonna's Like a Virgin. She actually finds more genuine emotional warmth and acceptance right there in a prison cell than she ever did suffocating in a London ballroom. Which brings us to the pivotal turning point. Chân tướng được phơi bày, the truth revealed. The silent hero finally emerges from the shadows. When Mark visits Bridget in prison, he acts cold and clinical, completely giving the impression that he's abandoning her. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that behind that icy exterior, he is secretly orchestrating a massive international rescue mission. I mean, look at this. He personally tracks down Jed the drug smuggler. He engages Interpol to force a capture. He even mobilizes MI5 and the British Foreign Office. It completely flips our understanding of his visit. Mark's love isn't expressed in flashy, poetic declarations. It's expressed in monumental, silent devotion. All this tension finally boils over in an unchoreographed, totally chaotic for Bridget. Wow, right? By politely rejecting Rebecca and, more importantly, fully accepting herself, flaws and all, Bridget finally claims the love she deserves. Sprinting to Mark's office, she secures his proposal and happily accepts. Let's move to and see how this builds our understanding of the story by comparing it to its source material. When we compare the 2004 film to Helen Fielding's original 1999 novel, we really see how brilliantly the cinematic version streamlined the narrative for maximum emotional payoff. The novel focused heavily on internal crises and featured a much darker, melancholic prison sequence. The film instead laser focuses on the Mark, Daniel, Bridget romantic triangle and that comedic bonding, deliberately dropping Bridget's deep obsession with the BBC's Pride and Prejudice. These adaptation choices ensure a tight, emotionally resonant roller coaster. So the crucial point we are left with as we conclude this by Van Dijk din Ein is a pretty profound question. Does true love demand we change to fit a perfect mold, or is it found in the one who fights for us when we are at our absolute most flawed? Bridget's triumphant journey proves that happily ever after isn't some illusion of perfection. It's about surviving the messy, chaotic reality together. Thank you so much for joining this on-screen journey. I'll leave you to ponder that final thought. Catch you in the next explainer.